So how do I know what instruments to use in an orchestra? Hi there, this is Sam. Really nice to see you here again. Oh, if you haven't, why not subscribe and hit that bell button? You'll get more amazing videos like this. And I promise I have a lot of them on my queue. I'm really trying to work them through. They're coming. Anyway, so how do you know what instruments to use in an orchestra? And first of all, I want to say it's a huge topic. This is what people study for years, write books about, take courses, study and study and study, go to university. So obviously there's no quick fix here. But I'm going to teach you something that you already know, or rather I'm going to remind you of something that you already know, and now you can apply it next time you write music. And that is, you have to divide the orchestra into families. That's the first trick. You have to see, what family am I working with? Am I working with the strings family, the brass, the wind, or the percussion? Those are the biggest families in the orchestra. And then you have to look at those families. What kind of material are they made of? And the main difference you want to look at here is, are they made of wood or out of metal? There are different kind of metals, different kind of wood, but more or less. Wood has a rounder tone, a little bit darker in general, okay? Metal instruments have a little bit sharper sound. Think about it. If you hit a piece of wood, the sound you will get by hitting a piece of wood and the sound you will get by hitting a piece of metal. That's your clue. What kind of timbre are they in? Next thing you're going to look at is size. Size matter, yes. Oh, everybody's running that joke. Sorry. So look at size. We can take the string family is the easiest one because all those instruments are very similar in looks. They're just different sizes. So obviously the smallest size sounds the highest, has the highest timbre, texture, and notes. So the violin is the highest, then viola second, then cello, and then contrabass has the darkest, deepest note. It's not just the range, it's also the sound. We can take cello as an example. Now, the cello can't play as high as a violin, but it can play very high, almost as high as the viola can. You can actually interchange those. The viola obviously can't go as low. But what I'm saying is that if you, for example, instead of having a viola, have the cello playing that note, you will get a darker sound because it's a bigger instrument. So it's a little bit darker, a little bit more emotional perhaps. So look at size again. That really will tell you what the instrument can do. We can take another example. Winds. The piccola flute, the very tiny flute, can obviously play the highest. And then we have the flute after that. And then we have oboe and clarinet. And you can say, well, they are about the same size, so how do I know? Well, look at what they're made of. The flute is metal, and the other ones are wood, which give you a little darker sound again when you play with wood. Obviously, there are a few versions of different flutes, and even there's the English horn, it's called. So there are some variants there, but just to keep it simple, we'll stick with these. Then we have bassoon, obviously, which is like a large oboe. So it's bigger, has a darker tone. There's also the bass clarinet, for example. There are a few other ones, but those are the main instruments that most orchestras use. Then we'll look at brass. Same thing. There are a few different kinds of instruments in all the different instruments here. Like there are a few trumpets, flute, trombones, and a few tubas. But let's just do it simple and talk about trumpets. Smallest one, obviously, sounds the highest. It's a metal instrument. It sounds even higher in a way. But it's not the same as a wind instrument, obviously. And then we have the French horn, which is larger than a trumpet. Trombone, even larger, and tubas are the biggest ones. So you can tell there again what range and what timbre they have. Now, obviously, somebody might say, well, they're metal instruments and kind of tiny. Why aren't they as high as the wind instrument? Well, because it's just a different technique, which I won't go into today, how you play them. Brass instruments are used with a mouthpiece where you actually sort of make a spitting sound, you could say. Well, somebody will hate me for that who plays the trumpet. But I played the trumpet many years. So I know what I'm talking about. And then the wind instruments, you're sort of using wind much more. So that's how you create the difference. And they are smaller as well. Percussion is the same. You look at what they're made of and what size they are. And that's the clue. See, you already knew this. You just have to think about it next time. What are they made of? What family do they belong to? And what size are they? So that will teach you how to know what instruments you want to use. If you look at the EQ video I made before and take this knowledge into account, you will know pretty much what instruments to use. And then after that, it comes down to experience what instruments work well together. Well, you can always apply what I taught you here, or reminded you of rather, and see, well, I want these textures, I want these higher ones. Why not combine them and see what happens? That's how you learn, by experience. You can take courses and you can watch videos as well, but it's experience that will teach you how to do this. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. Until next video then, take care.